Namandab, it's Namandab, it's Namandab, it's Namandab, 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 it's Namandab.
Welcome and good morning. I'm so thrilled to see all of you. I'm so happy. Welcome to the Buddhist Temple of Marin. My name is Junko Nakagawa, and we thank you for joining in this morning's hybrid Dharma service. In just a moment, Reverend CJ will strike the bell to mark the period of silent meditation. During this time, we will sit in our seats quietly and then prepare to hear the Dharma. And as one of our senseis, Sensei Kuwahara, would say, for the first time. Then they will strike the bell, Sensei will strike the bell, and we will continue with the service.
Namami Davids, Namami Davids, Namami Davids, Namandab, it's Namandab, 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 Namandab.
If you will all reach for your service book, on page 15, I would like for all of us to read the Golden Chain. Golden Chain 2. Page 15. Jugo, 15. I am a link in the Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in the Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Their hands together, Gasho, Namo Amida Butsu,
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu,
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu,
Namo Amida
Namanda. Now in the service, Reverend CJ will lead us in chanting of Vandanati Sarana. That's on page 167 of the service book, 167. And then following the chant of Vandanati Sarana, Sensei will lead us in the chanting of Junirai, and that is on page 65. Following the chanting portion of the service, Sensei will share his Dharma talk.
Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namu Kie Butsu. Namu Kie Ho. Namu Kie So. Junirai, page 65. The Gatha Junirai was written by Bodhisattva Nagarjuna, the first of the 7 masters of Jodashinshu. It expresses eloquently the depth of Nagarjuna's gratitude to Amida Buddha. 아미다세 료 속성在힘이 매환하고 느려부시 주인의 곤지기신 조녀센도 샤마타교녀소부 료모그조냐 그쇼렌게 고가초라이미다솜 넨센넨 조뇨만가 이코유뇨센 이지가 쇼뇨텐 그시라 고가쇼라이미다솜 간논 초다이 감치주 슈주메솔홀쇼공 노브그게 노마케맘 고가쇼라이미다솜 무비무그고쇼쇼 슈토그케ket뇨고그 쇼사리야 그토그지사이 고가쇼라이미다솜 지포묘몬보사슈 느려쇼마조삼담 이쇼슈졸가니기지 고가초라이미다솜 곤타이호켄치쇼케 젠곤쇼조메우다이사 오히사조뇨센노 고가초라이미다솜 지뽀쇼라이쇼부시 겐겐짐즈시안락 센골솜겐조그교 고가초라이미다솜 쇼음조무가도 야그뇨 수이갓된 요로 이슈세뽀무묘지 고가초라이미다솜 희손브셋무아금요 야금은요니나 그도
主任死心教悲尊子が将来みだそう非尊無料法勉強無償修悪知識往生不退死菩提子が将来みだそうがせ非尊苦毒寺修善無変妙海水小逆善言少女不捨永世主上昇飛行ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブがんにしくどく平等聖祭道本菩提心往生安楽ナモアミダ仏ナモアミダ仏ナモアミダ仏ナマンダ仏ナマンダナマンダナマンダナマンダナマンダナマンダナマンダI have to move the box because I'm too tall.
It's so nice to see everyone today. Thank you for coming. Good morning. So I'd like to share the next portion of our service, which will be my Dharma talk. Give me just a moment. Please join me in Gassho as I share the words of our founder, Shinran Shonin. The beings of the Tathagata's pure lotus are born transformed from the lotus of perfect enlightenment. In this world of miscellaneous modes of birth, their fellow beings are numerous, and these fellow beings experience pain and pleasure in myriad variations because of their diverse karmas. In that land of happiness, every single being is born transformed from the pure lotus of Amida Tathagata's perfect enlightenment. For they are the same in practicing the Nembutsu and following no other way. This extends even to this world, so that all Nembutsu practicers are siblings. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 This passage that I just shared for today's Gosandai comes from our founder Shinran Shonin's Kyogyo Shinsho. And here he's explaining that all beings experience our lives differently, depending on the causes and conditions or the karma that we have and our upbringing and birth and experiences in the world. These differing experiences can be beautiful, disconcerting, tragic, full of epic victories and horrendous losses. They may be laden with insightful and isolating journeys. And they also may be filled with heartwarming bonds of families that are chosen or ones of origin. These differing life experiences, which can bring us together via connection, empathy, and love, just as often can lead to disagreements, frustration, and confusion with other people, especially those who we love deeply. Buddha, which is beyond our human conception, the expression of ultimate truth, of compassion and kindness, takes in these myriad differences that we have, and rather than eliminating them during our lifetimes, those differences which can limit our perspectives and cause us so much trouble, all of these differences are transformed into the waters of enlightenment and truth. Seemingly, there are vast differences between you and I. Our life stories, our ethnic and religious heritages, the information and intelligence and wisdom, and all of our life experiences may be vastly different. And yet, here we are together in community, learning together and with and from one another as equals. The Dharma teaches us that we're all interconnected by immeasurable and incomprehensible causes and conditions, going back to the beginningless past. Through the Dharma, that is, from the sutras and the words of great Buddhist teachers, and our own mindful self-reflection, we begin to understand that this is the true nature of our being. This is to say that our authentic selves, which are many threads of individuality, were woven together in a great tapestry of life. This authentic and interdependent self is uncovered by the tireless working of wisdom and compassion in our lives. Shinran and the Pure Land Masters teach us that our natural state is covered by the dust, the clouds and mist of our subjective egos. We tend to think first about ourselves in isolation. This way of thinking can lead to a lot of pain for ourselves because we might feel alone, uncared for, or isolated. We might think or say, "She's too busy with her own life to visit or to call me. He only wants money for himself." Or, "They've bought into so many lies that they don't understand reality." Self-centeredness can also lead us to neglect others in our lives. and might lead us to say things that might invalidate their experiences. At times, we might be filled with judgment, saying things like, I can't do these things that keep others safe because it's too much of an inconvenience for me. Or, that person doesn't know what they're talking about. Everyone has a hard time, so they just need to get used to it. A lot of these ideas on separation and isolation that cloud our vision about the world, they happen because we aren't willing to truly listen to others. And that usually means that we go through life thinking especially about ourselves. This problem is only exacerbated by the dominant culture here in the United States that praises hyper-individualism, economizes and capitalizes on the value of individuals based on their labor, and preys upon the insecurity and isolation that many of us face by telling us that we must work harder to get what we want in life. In a lot of ways, our teachings and our Sangha, or temple community, are antithetical to this dominant culture. And it's really important for us to recognize this as Buddhists, because we have to think critically about how we might fit into this larger community. Many of us know what it's like to not fit in with the dominant culture, whether it's because of our race, our religion, our gender, sexuality, our ability, or so many other intersections of our identities. And all of those things make us different. But at the same time, we're part of a Sangha and so many other communities, and we have to take care of one another. Currently, we're taking care of one another by social distancing, and I'm so glad that we now have a strategy to have in-person services. And it's important that we continue to take care of one another in this way, because the pandemic isn't over, but we can still get together and spend time together and learn the Dharma. Sometimes safety isn't convenient and requires a lot of adjustment for us, both as individuals and in community. Safety in our communities requires personal sacrifice, and it's not always easy. Many of us have been born and raised in the United States, where an individualistic entrepreneurial spirit of looking out for number one is generally the ideal. However, as Buddhists, we have to challenge that ideal. Our quality of life shouldn't be determined by our own individual victories, in personal wealth and fame, and isolated comfort. Rather, in the quality and closeness of our communities, in our ability to care for and love for one another. Community care isn't always about giving either. Sometimes it's knowing when to ask for help, when we're in trouble or don't understand some of the problems that we're facing. Our communities should be a reflection of the Dharma, a place where individuals hold one another in loving kindness, and where we can all pursue the liberation that we all desire as Buddhists. This place of mutuality does not erase our differences, but allows us to more deeply connect with one another so that we can learn from one another and all grow together toward the free and shining sun of wisdom and compassion. Here, towards the end of my Dharma talk, I'd like to share a few excerpts from a piece written by my dear friend, Shakutake Eli Rin Brown. I met Rin through the Institute of Buddhist Studies. They use he and they pronouns, and Eli is a Black, queer, and non-binary meditation instructor. In addition to an impressive amount of communal healing work, they also lead the meditation program at the Midwest Buddhist Temple, which is part of the Buddhist Churches of America. His practice is grounded in meditation as an act of abolition, and they see this communal healing as a part of the radical rest that helps us to sustain revolutionary action. This piece from which I'd like to share is published by Homey House Press and is called Will You Get Free With Me? A meditation on anti-nationalism, a love letter to radical community, and a record of abolitionist lineage transmission. This is what Eli says. I have it on the back of the service program too, if you want to, so you can take it home. Eli says, I want to be free, and I can't get there without you. I need you by my side for this. Breathing the entire universe in and out with me. How else could we hold it all? If not, one of us may arrive alone. Then we must carry each other across the threshold in loving arms. Can't you feel the heat of my exhale join with yours? For me, please take a moment to sense it. I want to live, to be free. Everything is at stake exactly right now. Imagine sitting back to back in the sun together. Take a deep breath in through the nose and slowly let it out through the mouth. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Let your jaw unclench. Relax the lower back, the glutes and thighs. Notice the temperature of the air around you. Feel your lungs expand in all directions as you inhale, and as you exhale, sigh out completely, letting out a little sound resonate from deep within your belly, your toes, the earth. What border could be drawn between us when we breathe in this way? When our bellies hang completely relaxed and our skin, sun-warmed, sweats salt into the atmosphere and earth. Will you get free with me? I know the path is long and weary. We are so tired, and so much violence has been carved into the land, our hearts. But I'm here before you, and my hands are outstretched. Place your hands in mine and feel my breath. Don't you hear how loudly our hearts beat together? Inhale, I vow to be here. Inhale, I vow to be present. Inhale, I vow to return. My breath is entirely ours. May we always return to the moment. May we set each other free. Namo Amida Butsu. I'm so grateful for my friend Rin. This piece really is incredible, and I only shared a couple of selections from it, but the larger piece also tells the story of reflecting on loss and grief, visiting a cemetery, honoring the lineages of ancestors, both near and far, and the pains of injustice and violence that so many of our communities face. Eli's reflections on community and mutual aid resonate deeply with what continues to draw me to the Buddha Dharma, because this collectivist pursuit of joy and liberation is at the very heart of my own religious and spiritual life. Without a communitarian understanding of our shared faith, I'm not sure why I would pursue Buddhism, because these values challenge the myriad terrible problems of violence, individualism, and selfishness that plague our dominant cultures around the world. I hope that we can continue to think about how we can care for one another, both in our temple communities and beyond. I'd like to conclude my Dharma message today by sharing the words of Shinran once more. Please join me in Gassho. The beings of the Tathagata's pure lotus are born transformed from the lotus of perfect enlightenment. In this world of miscellaneous modes of birth, their fellow beings are numerous, and these fellow beings experience pain and pleasure in myriad variations because of their diverse karmas. In that land of happiness, every single being is born transformed from the pure lotus of Amida Tathagata's perfect enlightenment, for they are the same in practicing the Nembutsu and following no other way. This extends even to this world, so that all Nembutsu practitioners are siblings. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Okay. So this will conclude our service for the day. I'd like to ask if there are any announcements this morning, and after the announcements, I have a few gratitudes to share.
Thank you very much for attending Buddhist Temple of Marin's first hybrid service. Thank you. I really appreciate seeing you here and on the Zoom as well. Thank you. We will also continue our services next week. That would make it October 14th at 10 a.m. with Reverend Kuahara. Thank you again.
Once more, thanks for coming to today's hybrid service. I'd also like to thank everyone who attended online on Zoom, and thank you for your patience as we continue to work out this format, which is new to us. And I'd like to thank Junko-san for being our chairperson today. And thank you to the Buddhist Temple of Marin for allowing us to be able to have these services together. I'm going to light a piece of charcoal, and then we can all offer incense and do oshoko. Thank you very much.